YouTube, we back with another video, and like I said in my intro video, I'm gonna be talking about many different things. This video gonna be about my first real estate deal, the whole process, and what I learned. Learn from my mistakes. That way you ain't gotta do it. Save you some time, some money, and most importantly, headaches. Save you headaches. So, well, let me let you know what I'm doing now. I got a shop in Beaumont, Texas, and we getting ready for a back to school drive. So I'm gonna be putting together these backpacks. They gotta have mesh and clip backpacks. They said some grades do, some grades don't. I don't really know, so I just be safe. I got them all mesh. So we got folders, some highlighters, some paper, binders, and I'm gonna be putting them together in a backpack to get ready for the back to school event. However, that's not what this video is about. This video is about my first real estate deal. Let's go. First off, I started wanting to flip because I wanted a huge amount of money in my pocket because I wasn't that. First of all, I went into it. The only knowledge I got was from YouTube, audiobooks, and a little bit of research and talking to people from here and there. So I really didn't have like nobody really just held my hand into it. I really just went into it, just wanted to attack it. That way I could say I did it, because I knew if I kept wanting to learn more or trying to figure out how to learn for free and stuff like that, try to finagle ways to like try to get information, I would have stopped. I wouldn't have never did it. So started off by looking for off-market deals, wasn't really getting nowhere. So I don't know what happened, but I ended up finding I was scrolling on Facebook. No, somebody had tagged me into a post, and the post was like, basically everybody was sharing people on their friends list who they knew had businesses. So I was tagged in it, and I scrolled down and I found a realtor. That's how I found my realtor. And then we started talking from there. I let her know I wanted to flip. Long story short, we had a meeting, let her know, hey, I want to flip houses, let her know my plan. And we went on, she started helping me look for houses. I asked my barber if he knew any contractors, and he referred me to somebody. So that's how I found my first contractor, which you already know what that means. If I say my first contractor, context clue, you already know. Oh, just to let you know, this deal could have been way better. This deal could have been way better. I lost so much money in this deal, but hey, cost of doing business. But anyway, found a realtor from Facebook, found a contractor from one of my barbers, and we started, once I told my realtor my plans, we started looking for houses. So what happened was, as soon as the house hit the market, she knew about it. She already knew my price range. She knew about it. She told me about it. Me, her, and the contractor will go look at them. Whatever house we'll see, she'll tell me how much it's worth in perfect condition. You already know, I multiply that. I do the little deal with you multiply the ARV by 70% minus however much you rehab. The contractor told me how much he believes in how much it was gonna be in rehabs. So this formula came out with my maxed offer I had to get the house under contract for, and we started going to houses. I got them numbers, put in the formula, started doing offers. I finally found one. It took a while though. It took like a few months until I finally got one, because they kept denying them. So finally got one, and then we walked the house. I got the rehab budget. It was supposed to be he wanted 115. I was supposed to be putting like $50 or $60 worth of work into it, and it was supposed to be selling. Hold on. 115. Bet. Because my total loan was 175. So 115 Then I put together, I had the 115 for the purchase price, 60 for the rehab, 60K for the rehab. Was supposed to resell for 250. Sound like a okay deal for my first try, you know? So after that, after we walked it, basically the offer that he wanted, how much he wanted it, I tried to go under it. He declined it. So we just gave him what he wanted, 115. So after that, she submitted the offer, had to provide proof of funds from my lender. I used the hard money lender. I used the hard money loan. Started submitting the proof of funds. Then she sent in my offer, and then he accepted it, of course, because it's what he wanted. So that was my first house that I was gonna get under contract. So you already know what that means. We started filling out paperwork and submitting documents. I started signing papers for the contract, and I started submitting papers to my hard money lender so we can get to closing on this house. I had during the process of it, I had to get an inspection. What else I need in here? Oh, pencils and highlighter. I had to get an inspection. As soon as he accepted the offer, boom, hurry up and get an inspection. I'm tired and I'm dehydrated. But hey, after this, I'm finna go to bed. After he accepted my offer, I immediately had to get an inspection because you got a grace period. That way, if anything was to come back worse than what you expected, you can get your money back. So, hurry up and got an inspection. After that, I started working on getting appraisals and my LLC documents because I bought it under my LLC. I started getting my LLC documents for my hard money lender. That process was pretty lengthy. It wasn't long. I want to say it wasn't really that lengthy, but it was long. But hey, now that I think about it, it was probably like the most easiest thing out of the whole deal. So got an inspection, got the hard money loan to start submitting the documents, closed on it. Then rehab started. So my rehab was too long. What ended up happening was things that was getting looked at. It's basically it took too long on the rehab. I had to find multiple people. I had to replace people over and over for multiple things until I finally got my contractors that I got now oh yeah, they some good people. I got pencils in here. Yeah, I do. Yeah, they some good people. I finally got it right, but it took too long. Had to keep finding people. Ran out of the hard money loan. When you get a hard money loan, the reason why you do the formula is gonna cover the purchase price and the rehab. However, once you submit them documents and you close, anything else but over that amount that you told them people for rehab, you gotta come out your pocket. So ended up having to do that on top of spending money each month for the loan. And then after that, I ended up having to pay for extensions and stuff like that because, of course, it took too long. Basically, they gave me a term of 6 months. So in 6 months, I was supposed to be paying back the loan in its entirety. I ended up taking practically 5 months, 4.5 months for rehab. And yeah, it was bad. And I missed out this part. In the process of submitting documents for the first house, I saw another property that I wanted since I thought it was just so easy. This was before rehab. I thought it was so easy that I went and got another house. Whenever you start this, start with one house. That way, if you make your mistakes, you made your mistakes with one house. since I bought 2 houses, I made the same mistake with 2 houses. So double the money, double the headache, and more time, double the time. So yeah, that's one lesson to learn. Start with 1 house. Do not overdo it. So with the first house on Jackson, basically, we finished with, it could have been way better, but it was on some stuff like, you're under a budget. You had a budget, now we gotta go under your budget. We gotta be more frugal than what we had to, what we was supposed to. So basically, average quality, however, I paid more money because I had to keep replacing people. So yeah, it was bad. So with that being said, since it got average quality, best believe, it took forever to sell. So I ended up finally finding a buyer, but through owner finance. After I refied. That process, the numbers and everything, I can go on a whole nother video about. I'll talk about that later too. But yeah, that's how I do that. And I'm basically gonna do the same thing with my second property. Refied on the financing. Because, like I said, the same mistakes that I made with the first property, I made it with the second property. So they both the same situation. As far as lessons and stuff, first thing I will say, I already said start off with 1 property. First thing I say is get educated, not just about the investor part, but about the rehab part, about the contractor side. Because it's easy, you already know, it ain't a perfect world we live in. Everybody word ain't, I already got paper in here. Everybody word ain't they bond. And you can know what it's supposed to look like, and you can save you some money by doing it yourself. So learn the contractor side, learn all the sides to it. Don't just learn the investor side of it. They talk about the formula, they talk about different strategies to use when purchasing the house and stuff like that. However, they need to be talking about the rehab side too. But learn the contractor side, actually learn how to do some of that stuff. Save you some money. For real. The next thing I'll say is, when walking through these houses, use more than 1 contractor. Whenever I walk through that house in the very beginning, before I submitted any documents or anything, I used 1 contractor, which I shouldn't have done. Use more than 1 contractor. Why? Because you can be more accurate on how much you're spending towards your rehab, your different opinions, and it increases your chances of finding that right contractor. Because sad to say, most of the time, your first person may not be the best person. For some people it is, but for some people it's not. So it'll make you more accurate on your rehab, and it'll prevent, you'll get like an average price for certain things. So it'll prevent price gouging. Another, I gotta rip these tags off too. Another lesson I'll say is, let me take the tag off these. Another lesson I'll say is, make sure everything get inspected. I mean everything. Make sure everything get looked at. Everything from the foundation all the way to the roof. Take your inspection seriously, even if you have to buy more than 1. If they say they can't look at a certain thing, if they don't look at a certain thing, find somebody who do look at that certain thing. Get everything inspected, get everything looked at. If you feel like this person ain't really look over it, find somebody else, spend the money, and get it inspected. Simply because you rather spend, like, an inspection may be $700, but I'd rather spend $2,100 than have to spend $10,000 just because I had a contractor issue, you know. So you get everything inspected. I'm not saying you gotta use more than 1 inspector, but get everything inspected. Get everything inspected for real. That's a serious part of it. Get everything inspected. My next lesson will be one thing. This may be common sense to some, but I've never heard this in no video. I never heard this in audio, but I just heard closing. One thing I did not know is closing costs money. So this whole little not bringing money to the table, it costs money. You got fees that, oh man, you got fees that the title company has to have. You got fees for insurance. You got fees for the that appraisal and survey and stuff like that. If you don't just have that already, if you didn't pay for that before closing, you're gonna pay for it at closing. The hard money lenders is not paying for that. So closing costs money, and it ain't no $300. It costs a few thousand. Maybe not much, like $3, but it costs money. Whenever somebody try to be like, oh man, it ain't that much, just closing cost. No, it costs a good amount of money. Unless you just got it like that, then okay, you can belittle it, but it costs some money. Like you ain't finna just go to the closing table and they just finna read them papers to you. If you finna just be chilling, la-di-da-doo-doo or whatever. They gonna read them papers to you. They gonna that HUD. Pay attention to that HUD statement. Gonna tell you what you need to pay, and they gonna be waiting for you. They gonna be waiting for it whenever you go to the table. So closing costs money. My second lesson is have your contractors on contract, please. I did not do that till later. And my next lesson is whenever you do put them on contract, make sure that contract is make sure that contract is detailed and looked at by an attorney. Because you can have your contract together, but if it ain't detailed, attorney gonna let you know before you even try to take action. Like, hey, this got this problem, this ain't got this in it. So don't just be finding one on Google and just typing it up. Make sure it's detailed. Have an attorney look over it before you or any contractor even look at it. Have you and your attorney look at it. Go over it, detail, and put them under contract for real. Everything that all your concerns need to be in that contract. That way, it limits the stress on them messing you over. Cause man, hey, I'm not finna bad talk anybody, but hey, just put your contractors on contract. That is serious. Put them on contract. Please help yourself. Please do not make the same mistake I did at the very beginning. I lost thousands of dollars because of that. I ended up having to I lost money. I lost my own money and ended up having to make situations happen for me. So I had to do what I had to do type deal. So I had to even get investors and stuff on it. So put them contractors under contract and have your attorney look at it. My next lesson, find people who specify in different things during the rehab. Find people that you can use for your rehab. Don't just talk to a GC the whole time. Find you somebody. I already said learn the rehab part, so some of this you could probably do on your own. Paint you could probably do on your own. But get a painter, get a drywall guy, get a roof guy, get a foundation guy, get an electrician, get a plumber. Find people who specify in that one department. Find people like that. Simply because a lot of times, a lot of GCs, what they doing is they taking the money. Let's say they plumber only costs $1,500. He gonna tell you $4,000 and finna take that off the top just because basically he middleman. Some GCs do the work. Like I've seen GCs who do the work. Like the GCs I know now, the ones I use now, they actually I've seen them do stuff for their company. So they actually putting in the work and they're worth what they're asking for. However, in the beginning, I've also see GCs just smoking while they workers working. You finna hand them a bunch of money and they finna pay their workers peanuts. So find you people who specify in certain things. Be your own GC, help yourself out. Cause it really ain't that hard. And sometimes once you find one person, they know somebody else who do stuff like that. So yeah, find you somebody who specifies certain things like that. My next one is shoe. Buy your own material. There's no reason why you should be having to pay somebody for material and labor. Save as much money as you can. Cause like I say, you could be talking to somebody for the first time and they could be charging you 15, they could be charging you 30 grand. 15 for labor, 15 for materials. However, what you don't know is materials may cost 10 grand, but you giving him an extra 5 for no reason. You know what I mean? So buy your own material. And by buy, I don't mean you have to go pick it up. You can buy it places as a pickup later and they can go pick it up. Or you can go with your contractor, he loading it up and you just pay for it. You can use his discount. Anytime they yell out that discount, they ain't no excuse just to be giving them money. Do your own research on that. Make sure you do your own research on how much this stuff costs. Don't just be taking people's word for it. Because you can go to the store and do it yourself. And even if they be like, oh, this is a contractor only discount. Again, you can use their name. You can go with them to the store. There's plenty of ways you can use a discount and still pay for your materials. Pay for your own materials. Look at the materials. Pay for it. Know what you're paying for. Don't just be willingly giving them money and just be like, okay, they're going to take care of it. Learn from my mistakes. And then whenever you say it out loud, it don't really make sense anyway. So, buy your own material. My next one is basically be slow to hire, quick to fire. And I had to learn that myself. So what that basically means is whenever you talking to these guys, these contractors and stuff like that, whenever you talking to these contractors and stuff like that, analyze, do whatever you need to do, but be slow to be paying people. Just be paying. Do not be paying people just willing and nilly. Be slow to pay them. Be slow to hire. And as soon as you start to see something like that shouldn't be happening, be quick to fire. Let it go. Because small things turn into big things. For real. Pay attention to the signs. So be slow to hire and quick to fire. I had to realize that myself. And I actually got better at it. Because now I be on some stuff like, because you be on some stuff like you trying to take care of them. Shoot, obviously they ain't taking care of you. So, do not fall for the okie doke. And once they know you serious, best believe they'll come with a whole different type of ball game. I need pencils. So, slow to hire, quick to fire. And my last one is be serious about your rehab time. Like I said earlier, my rehab was too long. It was no reason for that house to be that long. I've seen houses get built faster than my Matter of fact, I was driving past a convenience store they building. But when I closed, it was a slab. That frame was up, everything, the whole corner store was dang near done before when my rehab was finishing up. And I didn't knock nothing down. That was straight remodel. I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. So be serious about your rehab time, for real. Cause I think whenever you first close, they give you your payment ain't till the next month. So that first month, put in as much work as you possibly can. Cause you ain't gotta pay for nothing. So get your rehab done. That way when you do start paying for something, it should already be on the market type deal. And cause selling takes some time. Not only do they gotta put it on the market, but I gotta get that dread fixed. My girl, Nisha gonna hook me up. I got a loctician in here. She cold. Whenever they give you them 6 months, whenever you selling, they gotta put it on the market. And then first of all, they gotta go through offers. People looking at them, they gotta go through offers or whatever. Then after that, people, you gotta get it under contract. Closing typically take about 30 to 45 days. So that's even after that's under contract. So first you gotta get on contract, then you gotta spend another month and a half to get it sold. So come on now. And then what if you put on the contract, it don't work out, then you gotta put it back on the market, put on another contract that add another 30 to 45 days. Like, be serious about rehab time. Selling take time. selling takes time. Like, don't just fall in love with the factuation of the, oh, my house closed in less than this amount. Like, closing, on average, closing takes time. So be serious about your rehab. And my last one is to educate yourself. That's it. Keep doing it. Keep educating yourself. You can never learn too much of this stuff. Educate yourself. So that's it. That's my deal. That was my deal rundown. That's what I got. That's what I had going on. If any questions, comment, let me know. Any questions you got, let me know. You want me to go further in depth about how I did the refi and how that stuff goes, I'll be posting another video, so just stay tuned for that. So today we talked about my deal breakdown, the complete process, and lessons and mistakes I made, and lessons that you can make, lessons that you can learn from and not make them. So, not make the same mistakes I did. Save you some money. Like I said in the beginning, save you some money, some time, and some headache. If you like this video, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one, baby.